Another company that we've heard about for a long time is Tiffen. They began as making lens filters, but they've expanded far beyond that over the recent past. And I'm delighted to introduce Duane Sherwood, who's the Director of Communication for the Tiffen Company. But Duane wears a specific hat. We'll learn more about that in just a minute. Welcome, Duane. Good to have you with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Tell us what Tiffen is, because it's continued to evolve over the years. What's it doing now?
It's continuing to grow. Tiffen has a 75-year-plus history for making high-quality camera filters in both the still and motion picture industry. In more recent years, they've expanded to take on a number of other brands that also serve the same industry, such as Steadicam, which many people know, Davis and Sanford tripods, DFX, digital software of filtration, Listech teleprompters, Domke camper bags, and Lowel Light, which is where I work.
Well, I could tell that Lowell was pretty near and dear to your heart because you've got a blue Lowell shirt on and it says Lowell in the front. Tell us about what Lowell's got these days.
Well, Lowell also has a pretty prestigious history. For over 50 years, we've been the world leader in location lighting and actually revolutionized many of the location lighting equipment that is used today. In more recent years, we've made the transition, as other lighting companies have, from tungsten-based systems to LED-based systems, and we're very proud this year to be showing a new light that we think is going to be very popular.
Well, I am looking at a new light, which is next to you. It's on a traditional Lowell stand, of which
Yes.
I have seen many and used many. But it doesn't have the look of a Lowell light at the top. It's much more of a bullet shape and
Yes.
longer, and it's got barn doors on it, but that's about where the resemblance ends. What is it?
It's called the Lowell Pro Power LED. It's
The what?
Lowell Pro Power LED. It's an LED-based system, but unlike many of the LED panels that you see through the industry, this is a focusable LED, which is part of the latest transition of LEDs and evolution of LEDs.
Focusable meaning what?
In this particular case, this fixture has a Fresnel lens in front of it and can focus from a tight spot to a very wide flood, unlike a panel that just lights a large area very evenly. It's not only a change optically and performance-wise, but it's also a change electrically. It consumes much less electricity than the old tungsten-based systems.
When I'm dealing with LED lights, what's the equivalent measure? How do I say I want a 500-watt light or a 1,000-watt light?
I'm very glad that you mentioned that, because that's probably half the conversations that we have in the Lowell booth, the Lowell section of the Tiffen booth. People are used to equating wattage to brightness. A 60-watt bulb is not as bright as a 100-watt bulb. But the thing is, wattage is actually a measure of the electricity that it's sucking out of the wall. So in the case of LEDs, which are far more efficient in the electricity they bring from the wall, this, I believe, is a 60 or 70-watt fixture, but it has the output comparable to a 300 or 400-watt tungsten fixture. So it consumes less. Therefore, you don't have to worry so much when you're plugging into circuits if you're on location, which is what most of our equipment does. What you really need to begin to focus on are the traditional measurements that this industry uses: foot candles, lux, and many people these days are confusing lumens with lux, and so there's all kinds of definitions that people have to get used to.
You're just making things worse. You're the lighting guy, and you don't even have a clear definition.
Here's how old the foot candle is. It's literally the measure a candle gives off at 1 foot. That's how old the measurement comes from.
How do I determine what light I want to use to replace an old fixture?
Well, it helps if you know how many foot candles your old fixture put out at 6 feet or 10 feet or whatever it is that the working distance you're used to using. And then you take that measure and compare it to the performance, the light output, the foot candle readings of the new fixture.
So we would need a light meter then to tell us foot candles?
A light meter, or many cameras these days have waveform generators built into them that they can read levels of light as well.
So it's not easy.
Once you get a hang of it, it's incredibly easy.
What have you got that's new? Anything interesting besides this light?
In addition to this light, which is very getting a lot of buzz, because see, focusable LEDs are really just a new story. But we do have a couple of traditional 1x1 panel lights that are not only considerably brighter than many of the things that are out there in their price range, with very good quality color, but they are built in very rugged housings. And this is something that rental houses have been asking us for, because many of the panels are either plastic or tin. They come back from a rental shredded or flattened. So it's a very rugged housing. It's called the Lowell Prime Location LED system. But as interesting as its rugged housing is, it has what's called an IP65 rating. IP is ingress protection. It's how well the light is protected against the elements. And when you have an IP65 rating, you've got a light now that can be used in sandstorms, dust storms, and rainstorms. And when you look at our hurricane seasons and how many people now wind up outside hugging a tree or something during a hurricane, you've now got a light that you can light them with.
And pricing?
Street price for the Lowell Pro Power LED, we think, is going to be somewhere in the $599 range. And then it also has an accessory battery system so that you can go, that's probably going to be another $300 or $400. And the panels will be in about the $1495 range.
Shipping when?
End of May.
Where can people go on the web to learn more about your products?
Lowell.com, they can learn a lot because in addition to all of our product information, we have Lowell EDU, which is a very complete lighting education center. Everybody can always brush up on their skills.
LOWEL.com. Duane Sherwood is the Director of Communications for the Tiffen Company, of which Lowell is a part. And Duane, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.